Hi everybody, welcome to my brand new office space. I've been pretty quiet for a while because we moved. We had the opportunity, which is wild in this economy, to buy a house. And so we bought a house. Wild. So the past few weeks have been moving, cleaning out the old place, cleaning up my office because we're consolidating down into one space, and starting to peel wallpaper. So this was formerly wallpapered. Everything was wallpapered because why would we not want to relive the early 90s? It was some Laura Ashley madness. It was madness. So things have taken a little bit of a backseat to demo work and tearing off old brick backsplash and all the stuff that's way more fun than work, you know? Like, I really enjoy the wanton destruction of home ownership so far. But I wanted to check in because I still have so much to talk to you about with knitting outside the box. Today we're going to talk about Vionnet, which is one of the patterns from Knitting Outside the Box, Drape and Fold. And this is one of my favorites because it just does wacky things, and it's kind of proof of concept that follows lots and lots of things that I've seen over the past few years. The past few decades, really. Like, this is something that I love about fabric. The way you can manipulate it, the way you can move it, the way you can turn it. It does such exciting things. So Vionnet is kind of my attempt to do that. And all right, I got too excited. I had to put my hair up. So the really cool thing that Vionnet does is it joins things on an unexpected angle. And in the book, this is what I talk about in the rotate chapter. So what it does is the front has this wild extension off the side of it, which also has a pocket. It's got pockets. So it has this whole extension off the side of it, so that when you knit it, this is what half of it looks like. So imagine this is mirrored on the other half. So you have these really long wings coming off on the side there. So typically with knitting, what we would do is we would take the front piece and the back piece and we'd seam them together like that, right? With Vionnet, what I did is I seamed along there. What that does is that you now have this fabric moving around to the back like that, and then that fabric folds down to meet it, and you end up, see if I can hold these at the same time and demo, you end up with this amazing swoop of fabric off the side. In paper, it does this, right? Like, that's not super attractive having just like a Judy Jetson skirt on. But when we transfer it over to knitted fabric, it has this amazing, amazing drape. Let's see if I can move my camera down and you can see. It just flows and floats, and everyone who tries this on basically ends up swishing around in it like a ball gown. So super, super fun. This comes from a lot of experimentation with fabric. So if you've ever seen anything by Issey Miyake, he is like the god. I absolutely love him. He is like the god of manipulating fabric and saying, what would happen if we joined this and we joined this and let things fall and see what happens. If you also check out the Drape books, they're sewing books, but the way that they lay out fabric to then fall and create these beautiful folds is super, super inspiring. The last one that I find really inspiring, and kind of what really kicked me off on working this way, was an artist named Hiroaki Oya. And what he did, and I'll show you some pictures right now, is he made these t-shirts. And this is, if you've read Drape and Fold, and if you haven't, why not? If you've read Drape and Fold, you know I have this ridiculous series of hypotheses on how we can define knitted garments based on the number of holes they have. His project here is a set of t-shirts all shaped like the alphabet. When you lay them all flat, it's a B, it's a T, it's an L. Like, it shouldn't work, but because they have the right number of holes, all of that extra fabric just folds and melts and shapes around the body to create these really, really beautiful garments. So what we can do with that extra fabric is so far beyond what we think about in knitting, because we think, okay, here's a normal silhouette, let's work with that. But you can go so much further. You can take that fabric and build out and build up and build sideways and build around, and then say, okay, gravity, your turn. And it'll take it and do such amazing things. And especially, one thing that I especially love to do is to work on the bias itself. So if you can see, this side panel here on Vionnet, these are worked on the bias. And that's one thing Madame Vionnet was known for herself. She loved working with fabric on the bias, because what it does is, yes, knitted fabric is stretchy this way and stretchy this way, but it does some really amazing things when you ask it, there you go, ask it to stretch on the diagonal. It curves, it bends, it follows the shape of a human body so beautifully. Because again, we are not 2D shapes. We are not straight shoulders, straight down, straight bust, straight down, straight sides. No, we have curves, we have bumps, we have boobs, we have butts, we have hips. Like, all of that is such an amazing canvas for bias fabric. So I really wanted to play with that as well, both as a tribute to Madame Vionnet and also because, oh my gosh, it does such cool things. So yeah, that is the construction for Vionnet. So after all that wildness, Vionnet is relatively simple. Let's bring her back into focus here. So it has set-in sleeves here. So once you get past that kind of upside down T that is the front body, everything's relatively normal. It has a set-in sleeve that is then worked up to a shoulder. So you work the sleeve separately up to the cap, and then you'll seam everything together around there. I absolutely love saddle shoulders. I think they're so flattering on everyone. And they also give you the opportunity for some pretty awesome detail. So this one has cable pants here, which I really love. Everything in Drape and Fold was based on an idea, every stitch pattern was based on the idea of a repeating diamond or a cascade or an opening and closing shape. So this cable I thought worked really well with that, with these really beautiful kind of OG shapes within it. OG as in OGEE, not Original Gangster, because I'm not cool enough for that. So then, really good at going off on tangents, aren't I? So Vionnet is then finished with ribbing at the neckband and pockets. Like I said before, love these guys, because it's really easy. When you're working on the bias, you have that really nice angle to just put your hands in. And a technique that I developed a while ago is an afterthought pocket, where we place a line of yarn and then come back to it. And when we open it up later, we got a pocket. And I guess I didn't develop that. I guess I have used it a lot on the bias, which is not very usual. But yeah, it's been around a while. So ignore the way that I said that I developed that. Vionnet, so exciting. I love draping. I love the way fabric works and moves. I think it's so, so exciting, and I'm so excited that I get to share it with you. Vionnet was knit up in Neighborhood Fiber Company and in Moel Farm yarn. Again, for Drape and Fold, we did samples in 2 different yarns to have some like really good perspective on what could happen with it. And I'll link to both of their sites in my thingy, the notes, show notes. That's what they're called. It's been a while. So the KOBKAL itself is officially over. Congratulations to everyone who won. Thank you for everyone who participated. I am so, so grateful, and I loved seeing all of your work. If you'd like to go take a look, head on over to the Ravelry forum and check out the FOs page. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.